Welcome to Biscuits, the podcast where two lifelong friends talk about life for a long time. I'm Link.
And I'm Red. This week at the round table of dim lighting, we're going to be talking about who's more baby girl between the two of us. Based on your opinions and our self-perception.
I didn't know that me extemporaneously going into a quiet storm DJ voice would fit so well with your baby girl teaser.
I don't know if that's baby girl, what you're doing right now.
It's not, but it seemed like it worked.
It might be ironic.
I don't quite understand what baby girl is, so that's going to be part of this, the education of that.
Hopefully it is explained in the question.
I'm feeling good. Thank you for asking.
You're back.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly when we've got an order where we didn't want it to be like you were gone for too long, but in the real world that we live in, you're back.
Yeah, in the real world.
Yeah, in the fictitious world of Ear Biscuit scheduling.
Right.
You might still be gone. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know how this works.
I want to tell you about my trip to Seattle, Washington with Christy and Lando. It was Lando's spring break, and, on the heels of the success of Lando and I going to San Francisco a few months back on like a one night, I think we only stayed one night. No, we stayed 2 nights. Record shopping and foodie tour extravaganza. We were like, what are we going to do for your spring break? I said, why don't we do that again? We can bring mom. We can let her in on this experience. So let's go to, we thought about going to Portland, but we landed on Seattle because we still wanted to stay in the same time zone. We wanted to fly out of Burbank. We want to get there quick and get to work because we didn't want to take his whole spring break. He had some stuff he wanted to do back at home. So we ended up doing 3 nights in Seattle because he has a really good friend. His parents are really good friends of ours. They're from Seattle. And this friend of mine is a huge foodie. Like he's got lots of opinions, and he leaves Yelp reviews. So he sent Lando all of his, I don't even know if you could do this, but a folder of his Yelp reviews of just Seattle. And so Lando went through those and then picked the places that we would go. And Lando loves Asian cuisine, so we did a Japanese night. We did a Thai night. And then for breakfast, I'd only been to Seattle basically one night and one morning when we were on tour. So
that's the only time I've ever
in a lot of ways I haven't experienced Seattle.
Right.
So I was also excited to go back kind of for the first time for that reason. But we did go back for breakfast to a place that we met our college buddy Greg and his family.
Oh, that biscuit place.
Biscuit Bitch.
Oh,
Biatch. Yeah. And there's a couple of them.
That was good if I recall correctly.
Well, it's Southern style biscuits, and they'll just drape it in the white sausage gravy.
Mm-hmm.
They got grits, and so we went to that place, and they really lean into the bitch of it all. Like they say, "All right, bitches, what you want?" If you show up at Biscuit Bitch, they're gonna call you a bitch.
But do they say it nicely?
Not really.
Oh, that's good. So it's like Dick's. No, is that the name of that place?
Yes.
Is that the name of the sports bar?
Mm-hmm.
I've never been. I don't want to be insulted.
They're a dick to you. The waiters are a dick to you.
I don't want to be insulted while I eat.
It wasn't to that extent. And back there where they were making the biscuits, them bitches back there were mythical bitches. Because she was like, "Oh, Mythical!" And then, but you can't go in. Like you go to the door that you would normally walk in, and you order there now, and you only sit outside. So like they're yelling after we ate. When we're wrapping up eating, either the manager or the owner or the woman in charge, the head bitch, came out there, and Christy's like, "Do people get offended because you're just preemptively calling everyone a bitch. And she's like, listen, this is my place. We do things our way. If you can't take it, you can take your bitch self somewhere else, is what she said.
So this is just the one location? And she's the head bitch for.
I wasn't clear on that.
Okay, all right.
But so I don't know if they do that at the other one.
They probably do. It's part of it.
So shout out to Biscuit Bitch. They got a good thing going. And it's beyond the biscuits. But most of the time, so in the 2 full days that we spent there, we went to 8 bona fide record shops. But then we probably went to at least 2, maybe 3 other places that sold coffee, but also records, or plants and also records.
Mm-hmm.
So I could say 10 record shops in 2 days. That's pretty good. I think we did 8, or I think we did 7 or 8 in San Francisco. And I can't believe that I'm doing any form of shopping for this long. But
what is your wife doing?
She's
you're going to that many record shops?
I try to. Usually, when you find a record shop, there's other shops around it. Like they're in neighborhoods where there's other stuff that she can go into. But she started getting into the record shopping, and she's big into the nostalgia. So like the CDs that she still has in her CD case that we still have, like the No Doubt and the Ace of Base of the world, and like that type of stuff she likes to find. And or like her dad always listened to the Kenny Rogers Greatest Hits tape growing up. So like she found that record. And then Jenna, you'll love this. She had to get some Dolly, big into Dolly Parton. So we get so she started spending some money on records. Lando's still big into neo soul records. So we're talking Erykah Badu, Cleo Soul, the Victoria Monets of the world, like that. Sade.
Right.
That's his world. And then there's some overlap with my world of hip hop. But then on this particular trip, because we were in Seattle, I'm like, I gotta get some grunge. I gotta get something from back when we were in that mode, because that's the birthplace of grunge. Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. So I scored some Soundgarden, and I got some also some Audio Slave, which is like, and I got some Rage Against the Machine, because once I get into Chris Cornell, then Chris Cornell replaced Zach, whatever his last name is, the lead singer of Rage, and they made that new band called Audio Slave.
Right.
Which is good. So I got that. I found a used Incubus Science record, which has to bring back Wax Paper Dogs memories, right?
Well, not just that, but when you tried to share the gospel with the Incubus lead singer.
Yeah, when they were touring that, like
Right.
very small venues. But like for freshman year in college, we were still doing the Wax Paper Dogs. We were like emulating their sound.
Yeah, well, that's a
sense.
charitable assessment of what we were doing.
Between that, like
we were
311.
we were being influenced by it.
311
and doing something
that
very
Incubus.
different.
Incubus changed after that, and they got more smoothed out poppy, not like rap rock anymore.
Do you think it was a sign of things to come that we were, as a Christian band, being heavily influenced by a band that's named after a spirit that comes and has sex with you at night? Did we open the door to Satan all the way back then, and that's why we deconverted?
Yeah.
Is that what happened to us?
Well,
let that be a lesson to you.
That's not why we deconverted, but that is why our band sucked.
Because we were being...
Because Satan was getting into the Christian band.
Oh. But Satan makes great music.
Satan is a really great musician.
Satan makes great music.
I think Satan felt very limited by our boundaries as a Christian band.
He was like, I can't fully embody these guys in the way.
Yeah.
Satan
was frustrated with us.
Satan likes to get into the drummer first, and then the drummer will then get a double bass.
And that happens.
That's when you know Satan has gotten into a band, if they have a double bass.
Double kick.
And then if they have a 5-string bass guitar, that's another. Satan is in that low string. He's in it.
Fretless bass?
Satan hates fretless basses.
Yeah, that's a little too jazzy.
Yeah, he hates those.
Yeah, it's a little too frou-frou. He calls that woo.
Right.
It's like fretless bass is woo to Satan.
Yeah. He likes a nice scale, a well-defined scale.
Yeah, he likes the sharp changes. Yeah, he doesn't like anything being smoothed out.
No.
So I started buying in that direction, but I'd also still buy my hip hop stuff. But the thing about Seattle, there's lots of, shout out to my favorite record stores there, Daybreak Records, Jive Time Records, and then the biggie on the block, Easy Street. And at a certain point, we had so many stacks of records that the guy was like, I was like, how are we gonna get this back? I got to get another piece of luggage. He said, we can ship them to you. So then he not only shipped the records that I bought there, but he shipped the records that I bought before then, which really helped me out. And then the next day we started over, and by the end of that day, I got Easy Street to mail all my records home.
Well, that brings up an interesting aspect of this, because the shopping experience, the physical shopping experience, much in the same way that the vinyl listening experience, they are performed inefficiencies.
Yes.
They are planned inefficiencies for the sake of the experience, right?
Yeah.
Because not only could you listen to any of this music
at any
right
time.
now, if we wanted to.
Yes.
But you also could just find anything that you wanted to find that was vinyl and have that shipped to you.
Yes.
At any point.
New or used.
So you're actually creating, in both ways, both the enjoyment of the music, but the enjoyment of the shopping. You're creating an analog experience.
Yeah.
That is wholly unnecessary from an efficiency standpoint, but from an enjoyment standpoint, that's where you're finding your joy.
And I'm really finding the different ways to find joy in the experience. Like, this is how I approach shopping in a record store so that I can maximize the experience of being in that store. Like I won't go into too much detail, but like they always have a section called new arrivals. So it's records that have been sold back and are used, but they haven't been, they're just there. They haven't been picked through. So you're most likely to find something that other people would want, and they just haven't gotten to yet by going through the new arrivals. If you go back to a record store that you love again and again, you want to go to the new arrivals, because if you went there last week, you've already gone through everything except that stuff. A lot of record stores will have new arrivals, yesterday's arrivals, last week's, 2 weeks ago, and they'll go all the way down like that for people who return. And the biggest thrill is going through those and finding something that you've been hoping to find at a good price because it's used. Like, I found that, remember that first Feist record?
1, 2, 3, I
think it's the one before that, actually. In my leisure suite. They run together because we listen to both of them at the same time. There's one called, this one's called Let It Die, and then the one that you're singing is called The Reminder. They're both great. I want both of them.
Let It Die is my favorite.
Let It Die is the first one. It's the best one, and it's been on my list for years. I haven't seen it new or used. They haven't reissued it. So I found it used for it was still over $30 because they look it up on Discogs and you can tell what the market value is for stuff like baseball cards. So, anyway, that's the biggest thrill for me is finding Mac Miller's
go up and
circles for $20 used.
But do you go up to the do you have to find it by flipping through it? Or?
Yeah.
So you refuse to go and ask them if they have it because they have a catalog of what they've got, right? Or do they not?
Some of them do. It depends on.
But is that part of it? You can't do that too? Like if
I've done that if I'm in a hurry or if I'm looking for something very specific, but that takes the fun out of it.
Right, yeah, it's another part of it, is the flipping.
The flipping.
Yeah, and it's just like, I appreciate that this brings you joy.
You don't like the idea of flipping.
The idea of flipping through the thing, it's just like, I just can't, it's not my... I might dig for treasure. I thought I might dig for treasure.
It's a collector mentality.
I think I would...
something that we'd have differently.
I think I would dig for a dinosaur bone.
Oh, yeah. You would do that, but you wouldn't do it probably every weekend, maybe.
No, and I would really want to know that I was going to find a dinosaur bone. I just don't want a weekend of digging.
You want them to hand you a plastic bag full of dirt and say, "There's a dinosaur bone in here.
No,
go over here with the kids."
I don't want to do like the gold nugget thing where you go and they've already put something in there. I want there to be a little thrill of the hunt, but like.
The thrill comes from after having frustration and putting in the hours of not finding anything.
Oh, I'm frustrated by enough things in my life. I don't need to orchestrate.
You're gonna transfer the frustration.
I don't need to orchestrate
from your life into.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I found this bone very quickly because I'm already frustrated.
Yeah, that's not. I don't do that.
But we ate at this place called Kubota Ukami, which they serve a Japanese curry and pork cutlets. This is the stuff that Lando absolutely loves. It was very good. But I couldn't get service to call a lift when we were leaving. So I had to leave the table and walk over towards the bathroom. I was going to use the restroom too, but it was locked. So instead of going back to the seat, I stayed there by the kind of the bar area and I'm on my phone trying to get service. And I turned to a woman who works there, who's cleaning the glasses. So she's a behind the scenes worker kind of person. And I'm like, I didn't want her to think I was weird because I was just standing there like lurking beside her. You know, I'm not a serial killer. So
we'll see about that.
So I said to her, do people have trouble getting service in here? Because I'm actually having better service here than I had at my table. And she looked at me and she was like, and she didn't speak a lot of English, is what I discovered in her response. And so, but I was like, mission accomplished. She knows I'm doing something on my phone. She's not going to be weirded out. And then.
But she didn't answer your question.
She didn't really answer my question. But then after I was succeeding in calling the lift and I was about to go to the restroom, she stopped me and she said, "Are you famous from the TikTok?"
Oh, all right.
And I said, well,
potentially.
Yes, not knowing really what the question was. I just said yes because yes, right?
Yeah.
And then she said, "Would you like some of this on your that?"
Yeah.
And I said, yes, I would.
I love that. That's the only thing she knows.
The only thing, it's like that. I am famous for the TikTok. Would you like some of this on your that?
Right.
That was it.
She's probably one of many people
that
is the case.
Hey man, we're putting this stuff on TikTok in hopes that you'll try to figure out, what's the context here? Is there a show that maybe I should watch on YouTube or something? Like, that's what we hope.
Like 0.1% of you might do that, might go deeper.
But I guess just
based
to have
on the statistics,
the cultural relevance of being the wanting some of this on your that
guy.
Well,
she works at a restaurant, so she's putting a little bit of this on some of that.
A lot.
I
think she is, yeah.
That's kind of what she does. She puts this on that all the time.
Yeah, so we had a bond.
You're like
that went beyond the English language.
Yeah, and it's very like the would you like a this on your that is like maybe that'll make its way into like English teaching books. Like, where is the bathroom? I would be honored. Would you like a this on your that? Like
some of this.
Would you like some of this on your that? These are the things that Americans say.
So that was, I mean, as much as I enjoyed the records, that was the highlight of my experience. And I got to share one more thing. We stayed at this place called the Edgewater Hotel, which is right on the edge of the
water?
Yes, of the bay. And the Beatles stayed there. And there's pictures of them on the balcony, like sticking their heads out the window, and someone's sticking their head out over here and they're taking pictures. And then that suite that they stayed in is now the Beatles suite, and it's decorated as such. We didn't stay in it. But we ended up staying in the other themed suite at this rock and roll hotel, they called it. You could borrow a record player and records from the front desk and play them in your room. But the other room was a Pearl Jam suite, because Pearl Jam's from Seattle. The Pearl Jam fan club worked in collaboration with Eddie Vedder to decorate this 2-room suite with like cool, like Pearl Jam posters from all of their tours over the years. And so like that became the wallpaper. And then there's like set lists framed on the wall. And then the bathroom, the wallpaper is like a blown up picture of an audience from their performance in Berlin or something, like super cool. So like we definitely got the Seattle vibes. And yeah, I highly recommend going back.
But you didn't get any Pearl Jam records.
I'm more of a Soundgarden guy, you know that. Like Trent was the Pearl Jam guy. So like back in high school when he was huge into
just
Pearl
out
Jam.
of nostalgia, you know.
I wanted to get the stuff that was most honest to me, and I almost got Pearl Jam 10 because it's a great album. I almost got a Nirvana album. But I was weird like that as a kid or as a teenager, whenever somebody, like, because Trent was really into Pearl Jam and Nirvana, then I was like, well, I'll go another direction. I'll be really into Soundgarden. I was always like that. Like, if you liked Young MC, then I was gonna get MC Hammer. I don't know why.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you.
They're both pretty mainstream. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. I recommend Seattle. I'm going back. It was good weather one day. It was clear.
One day. Yeah, one day of good weather. It ended up hailing after you left.
I thought it was like 100 degrees here.
No, there. I just saw something about in the Pacific Northwest. I think actually
crazy
while you were there,
storms
like 2-inch hail.
After.
I
didn't
don't know what
that.
ended up happening. I didn't follow up on it. It was irrelevant to me. It didn't impact me, so I didn't care.
And you knew that I wasn't there anymore?
I saw like a big bubble on the map of where it was, and it was like, maybe that'll reach up to Seattle. I figured you knew.
We missed,
crazy. Your wife knows that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, crazy electrical storms out on the bay. We could have seen that, but. When it comes to your financial future, the smallest steps forward that you make now can make a big difference later.
Chime is a great choice for making that first step, as they really are trying to build a sense of community.
When you open a Chime checking account, you're one step closer to a better financial future, with no maintenance fees, fee-free overdraft up to $200, or getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Making progress has never been easier.
And if you ever want access to your pay before payday, you can use MyPay to get up to $500 of your pay before payday with no mandatory fees or interest.
Join millions of Chime members who are working on financial progress. To date, Chime has spotted members over $30 billion.
Make progress towards a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/ear.
That's chime.com/ear. Chime. Feels like progress.
Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. Members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply.
Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs. MyPay eligibility requirements apply. Credit limits range $20 to $500. $2 fee applies to get funds instantly. Chime checking account required. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details.
Let's take some of your questions.
Before we do, just a quick reminder that if you want to watch our content on your television nonstop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we have a channel called Mythical 24/7. That's exactly that. Look on your smart TV. If you've got Amazon Prime, if you've got a Samsung TV, if you've got Roku, what's the URL? Mythical.com/ Mythical 24/7. I don't know. We have a place that shows you all the places where it is, but just check it out on your smart TV if you want to find out. Mythical 24/7.
Yeah, I think if you just Google Mythical 24/7, it'll come up.
Hello, my name is Stella. I'm a radio DJ at the University of Georgia. I'm a student here too.
Go Dogs.
And every spring we have a March Madness, quote unquote, baby girl bracket. Now, if you're not familiar with what a baby girl is typically a man or some other creature at times who makes you go, "Aw," or that you think is cute, or that you just think you would look at and say, "Oh, that's baby girl." In our very first matchup this season, we had our dear Link Neal versus Kyle McLaughlin. And, of course, Link, you won. But the thing that I have issue with my radio station, WUOG 90.5 FM, is that Rhett is not in our bracket, and people are saying it's because he's not baby girl. I'm inclined to disagree, but I wanted to get your thoughts on this and who you think should be in the baby girl bracket. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, a McLaughlin, not a McLaughlin, made it to the bracket.
Who's Kyle McLaughlin? The reporter?
No, the actor.
The actor from
Was it Twin Peaks?
Twin Peaks.
Great actor.
Baby girl, though?
I think, first of all,
Do you think that was a mix-up?
I think this is a mix-up.
They were trying to go with Rhett McLaughlin, and they went with Kyle
I think
McLaughlin?
they put somebody intended for me and Link to be in the matchup, and then they went with Kyle McLaughlin.
Yeah. That had to be.
I'm way more baby girl than Kyle McLaughlin. I mean, I think.
I don't know about that.
Oh, come on. Listen, I think I get a bad reputation. I think I got a lot of hair, and I got a beard, and I'm tall, and I'm big, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I actually think I'm pretty damn baby girl. I think I need more credit. I think I need more baby girl cred. I mean,
I'll gladly give you my baby girl cred that I don't want. I don't. What, Jenna? What? I don't want to be.
Baby girl is good.
I don't want to be baby girl. What? Aw, it's almost like pity.
Yeah, it is.
It's like
they feel sorry for you. That's why they don't give it to you.
The way I interpret baby girl is cute that borders on pity.
No, that's not.
Am I wrong? Aw, poor baby girl.
Men that people call baby girl are baby girls because they're like endearing. Like you like that. Yeah.
Give me another baby girl example.
Another baby girl example is Jacob what was it? How do you say his last name? Elrodi. Yeah. He's baby girl.
What is he in? Teen Wolf?
Pedro Pascal is baby girl.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Why is he baby girl? Because
he's baby girl because he's endearing and like he shows affection in an endearing way. It's usually someone who's comfortable in their masculinity in showing affection towards people.
I'm not comfortable in my masculinity. That's why I'm not comfortable being called a baby girl. If I was, I don't feel,
fair.
I'm not masculine enough to then flip the script and be affectionate or something. I feel like,
well, I think you should just take the compliment.
It's because
I think I'm the victim here, not you.
I see why they say it. They say because it's also a vulnerability and a charm that men have that gives them baby girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
you should take the W on this.
All right.
Yeah, take
well,
the
you know
W.
what?
Don't be the, don't
right,
take the V.
I'm just self-conscious. I'm trying to figure this out.
This is a W.
But I'm going to give you some.
This is not.
I'm going to give you some
This
of
is not
it.
a crossover.
Here's the reason why you're not a baby girl, because look at what your eyebrows are doing right now.
This is not a crossover with
You see that?
with butch lesbian. You know what I'm saying? I think you might be
That's what I'm
worried
asking.
that if like you might be mistaken as a butch lesbian at times, that you would be
or twink
baby girl. And I mean, maybe the Venn diagram intersects very, very slightly.
Okay.
Okay, very, very slightly.
Well, let's help you with baby girl then.
But well,
so make a baby girl face.
Oh, I'm not going to practice. I'm not going to do something to try to
That's better.
Get baby girl sympathy.
Yeah, you're looking up more. That's good.
I'm just saying that I feel like
Relaxing the brow.
I feel like I have developed a reputation because I am experienced in the context of me and you together.
Touch me while you're talking.
Well, now see again. I'm not going to be. Baby girl will not be manipulated. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that, like, I think that if you really isolate it, apart from you just isolate me and my actions, the way that I talk, my mannerisms, the way that I laugh, the way that I hold my body, I think you would be like, oh, he has a healthy amount of feminine energy. It's not something that I'm trying to do. It's just I think it's just like if you put me on a construction site, you know what I'm saying? I would be the baby girl of the construction site.
Yeah,
I think it's context. I mean, look at my haircut.
If you were,
I do the curly girl method for my hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, give me a little baby girl credit.
you can't, hold on, but that energy right there is not baby girl.
No, baby girl wants credit. Baby girl wants to be in the Georgia bracket. You, Kyle McLaughlin.
Whoa. It's not, see,
I'm sorry.
It's not happening.
I'm sorry.
It's not happening.
That was too intense.
Yeah. Yeah.
See,
hey, man, hey. See, look.
I mean,
It's okay. See, I'm touching him in a
you watch? I mean,
platonic
maybe
fashion.
you're not a member of the Mythical Society, but maybe you saw the clips of me interviewing Orville Peck, and how much and this wasn't intentional. I wasn't trying. I was laughing at him and tucking my hair behind my ears. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I just think you just got to look at this honestly and objectively. You can't just always compare me to Link. You know, compare me to Kyle McLaughlin. He's in the family.
You can have it, man. You can have it. Now, what's the opposite of baby girl? Because it's not that I don't want baby girl, but what's the other thing?
Old man.
Old man.
Baby girl.
Oh.
Old man.
Stodgy. I don't know. I need a little bit.
Anyway, I'm sorry, baby girl got worked up, but
okay. All right.
She was offended.
Yeah, I don't think I've
There's
ever
no
heard
opposite.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's an opposite of baby girl.
Oh man, I'll take it.
I do scare children. I will say that.
Right.
You know, if Bigfoot comes out of the woods, he can't help. He can't help if you run in fear.
What about dogs? Do you scare dogs? Does Mike's dog like you?
Loves me, buddy.
Does he though? Does Buddy love you?
Buddy will not leave me alone.
Okay. Well, that's he's picking up on the right
But
energy.
Mike said that Buddy specifically loves men.
Oh, I thought he
He's
told
gay.
me
He's gay.
he specifically loves me is what I thought.
Oh yeah, I think
That's what he told
I think
me.
you just
when
interpreted
you
it
weren't
that way.
there. When you weren't there. Okay.
So maybe we clear that up. Maybe I'll be in the bracket next year. Don't put me up against Link though.
Did I win? Did I beat Kyle McLaughlin?
Put me up
And then
against Kyle
who was I up
McLaughlin.
against next?
There was no further context.
Oh, we're gonna need to see how the bracket goes.
Yeah. Listen,
Oh.
I don't want to be up against Link in the first round. I know I'll lose, but put me up against McLaughlin. You know, I might get to the Sweet 16. I don't know how many brackets there are. You know, get to the round of 32 at least.
Okay. Let's hear another one.
Hey, fellas. This is Rico from Nashville, Tennessee, calling in. I got a fun one for you. What quote-unquote serial killer behaviors do you have in your day-to-day life? What little odd things do you do that some people would call out as such? For example, I cut, an Eggo. I cut it in 4 pieces. However, I'm the way you think. I cut it. They're not even pieces. They are very arbitrary. I cut like the bottom 2 rows, and then I'm cutting the sides, and I save the biggest piece in the middle at the end. Makes no sense, but it's what I do. And then my wife, for example, pours out additional milk. Like she'll take a scoop of cereal and pour out the milk. Makes no sense. We always have a laugh about it. But yeah, curious what little habits, little things you guys do that some would call such a serial killer kind of behavior, etc. But yeah, we're still good.
Even though we're a little bit serial killer, we're still good. Rico Suave. I wonder if he got that a lot. Rico
He's getting it now.
Suave. It's a song.
Is there a documented? Is this a documented phenomenon? First of all, that did this come from serial killers being observed as doing
Right.
odd things?
Yeah. Like like breaking their toothpick in half and then like using it as 2 toothpicks. That's weird.
You mean
does that
like
make
making
you-
little fangs? That's
It
fun.
could be.
That's fun behavior.
Oh.
That's not serial killer.
I mean, there are real traits that have been documented, but they wouldn't be constituted as like these fun
Psychopathic.
little things. It's mostly just like hungry for power, manipulative, very charming.
Okay, so this is an extrapolation. People just are like, if you do this weird little thing, then that's serial killer behavior. I'm trying to think I definitely can think of many things that you do that fall into this category.
Oddly specific stuff. Like when he said that he's chopping his egos up in 4 non-symmetrical shapes, and I'm like, well, how crazy are you getting? Because like to me, that's still okay. Unless you're taking the ego and you're doing like a fillet cross section, so now you have 2 egos that are half as high. Now, to me, that's serial killer. But if you're sitting there just like cutting your little shapes and you can't explain it to anybody, but it feels good to you, then I'm for that. I'm for that.
Yeah, but it's
Right.
still a quirky thing that somebody would be like, oh, you do that in an odd way. That's serial killer. You do that in an unexpected way. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's no reason for it. Like, there's a reason why when you eat peanut butter, you run your mouth over the peanut butter and leave a bunch of peanut butter on there, then go back in and do it again. I know you can defend your position, but it's kind of serial killer behavior.
Well, I'm not making eye contact with anybody when I do it. That would be a little more SKE, you know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to think, is there something that I do that if somebody was with me and I did it, they would be like,
something that you do?
you would look again and be like, how did you just do that?
What about the thing where, and I don't think you do this anymore, but there was a long time there and it really bothered me where I could tell that your mouth was closed, but you were taking your tongue and you were like,
Getting little fellers.
you were putting it in the back of your throat and like
Yeah, that was just
smushing
personal hygiene.
accumulations out of your tonsils. Ugh.
It's amazing how those are completely gone.
It would be like this. I'd just be talking to Rhett and I'd be doing the talking. And whenever he'd be doing the listening, it would go to,
Like this.
it's like
I can still do it.
it's like you powered down.
I can stick the tip of my tongue into my tonsils.
God dang, I don't know how you
and
do that.
push anything that's caught in there
Like
out.
you're curling the front of your tongue back
I cross my eyes a little bit too.
into the back of your mouth.
That's so baby girl when I do that.
I can't do that. And that's why I cut Q-tips
Oh, listen, I had to
off
work.
into a spear and I would use that to get them out.
I had to work my way to this. If you really want to, you can make your tongue find new places that it's never found before. Yeah. But you have to work up to it. You can't do this overnight.
So you trained your tongue to reach the back of your own throat.
Yeah, because I was like, if I can eventually reach, I will be able to breach. I'll be able to get them out of there.
Can you throw your tongue down your throat? Like, can you gag on your own tongue?
That's how you die.
do it.
You want me to die right
No,
now?
I want you to gag on the tip of your tongue. Ugh. Are you doing it?
I'm trying to.
This is anti-baby girl. I'm just telling you.
No, this is as baby girl as it gets. Because you know how comfortable you have to be in your own body
Okay.
to like choke yourself on the internet?
Pretty comfortable. I think.
You think a typical
in theory.
You think a typical timber worker would do that? Compare me to the right people here. I look like a lumberjack, but compare me
But
to
he
a
chokes
lumberjack.
himself with his own tongue on the internet.
You ever seen a lumberjack choke himself? Only baby girl lumberjacks do that, okay?
I'm trying to think of something else you do that is serial killer energy.
When it comes to
I do get it for everything. You have serial killer glasses.
well, you do. They're
You-
nice, but they're a little Dahmerish.
Sometimes when I look at myself walk,
You walk like a serial
like
killer.
in
yeah.
Wonderhole, like I'm walking around a lot in that show, and I'm not happy with that.
You're a little stiff.
I'm a little stiff.
You've always been a little bit stiff with your walk. You have very good posture, though.
I have good posture, but I don't have good posture.
I walk like Bigfoot. Like if you see
slinky.
There's
kind of slinky.
If you see the Bigfoot walking through the woods, it's me. I do that. I'm not trying to.
I'm not. I have a serial killer walk. I'm not happy about it.
Yeah. You got to loosen up a little bit.
I don't know how to do it.
You walk like a person with a fused spine, but it's very upright. but the back stays like locked in. It's like someone.
I mean, Lily has a fused spine, so I know what that's like.
It's like someone programmed.
She doesn't even walk like that.
It's like if Boston Dynamics really figured out how to make a robot walk.
Right.
It'd be like, it's almost there. That's how you walk.
I mean, I've been like, I gotta do something about that.
Too late now.
Now, but my arms do move. I mean, it's not
you don't
like,
keep them still, yeah.
I mean, it's like if your arms stay down at your side completely while you're walking.
I think the thing is your arms move, but they look like they don't need to be moving. You know what I'm saying?
They're not helping.
It looks like the arms could be still and he'd be okay.
They're not helping.
Right, because it's not like they're responding to anything that happened. They're just moving like this, like.
And my neck is long. I don't know, something about.
It's funny. Let's see. I mean, when it comes to interacting with any sort of food, I'm doing it very quickly, and that's not really serial killer behavior. There's no like precision. It's just like I just go real hard.
You're not precise. You're more beastly about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just trying to think. Is there anything? I really want you to be a serial killer. Do you stare through people when they're talking?
I don't believe so.
Not really.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll work on it. I'll work on something serial killer.
Is there anything else that I have that you want to point out? It just seems like there's too many to point out. I'm not a serial killer. It's too gross. Serial killing is way too gross. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
That's the chief reason I'm not a serial killer. That and
the murder part.
Just the murder part.
But the cleanup is really your problem with it.
Yeah, but like I would have to be, I don't know, I'd have to bring a cleanup crew. I'd have to like sanitize everything and can you drain the person can you come in and like do the pre-killing, like drain them of all their blood and then I'll come in and make them still alive, but like drain them of their blood.
Okay, this can be arranged.
And like no guts. It's like I would definitely use poison. You know,
from a distance,
like poisonous dart,
blow dart. You're a blow dart guy.
I'm a blow dart serial killer. This is gonna be my way.
That's baby girl.
Yeah. I'm a baby girl serial killer.
You just step right back into it. You volunteer to use a blow dart,
and I'm doing blowing. You know.
This does raise an interesting ethical question.
So true.
I don't know if you saw this. I think this has been a while. I don't know. I can't remember which streamer it was, so I just won't say the name because I don't want to be wrong. But he had a robot that could walk that was like on his stream, and he was basically kind of abusing the robot. So it looked like one of those robots from Boston Dynamics. But I don't know where it's from.
That was meaning well. It was like trying
and
to...
he kept pushing it down and pushing it around. And your natural human response to that is, man, quit messing with you're messing with a conscious being is what it feels like because it's shaped like a human or whatever.
Yeah.
But it does raise the question because what could happen, and I don't think this would be a good thing, but like if there was a perfectly human looking and acting robot, like they get to a place where they really can do this.
Yeah.
And then you buy that robot because you want to have the experience of killing someone.
You're talking about me?
I'm saying anybody.
Okay.
I think they're going to make that illegal. I
mean,
the one of the reasons.
What about kids mutilating dolls and like what about the entire profession of voodoo?
Yeah, but that doesn't have that can't communicate with you. I just think I think the robot rights, I haven't looked into this. I'm assuming there's people already thinking about this. But like, I think that.
Don't push us around.
Yeah. Because what will happen is be like, okay, I can afford this. This is a machine.
Simulate feelings.
This is a machine, and I can do what I want to with my machine. I think one of the moral arguments against it would be, well, if you're killing something that's incredibly human-like and taking pleasure in that, then maybe you're giving into an impulse that will lead to you actually doing harm to people. Clearly, that's an argument that you can make.
You can make that argument about rage rooms. Does rage rooms get outrage, or does it foment more rage? Like, oh, I got to have that feeling again. Is it an outlet?
I think it's an outlet. I think it's an outlet in that context. But it's a room.
It's a room. It's not a robot with a
because
smile
part
on
of
its
the part of the experience of like killing a robot that is protesting is it's a simulation. Even if it's a simulation of a conscious being that is it is something that is experiencing something, and is like, stop pushing me around, stop stabbing me, whatever the thing that you're doing, stop blow darting me.
But Rhett, think about all the demented shit we've done to Furbies. We put a Furby in a cement mixer.
Maybe we shouldn't have.
We put we built a guillotine, full size, extra sharp, could have removed the head of a human, and we decapitated a Furby that still spoke afterward.
And when we look back on that, 40 years from now, when everyone has a really smart Furby-like companion, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, Rhett and Link, you remember them? Yeah, they killed Furbies for a while. It was a thing they did for pleasure." Can you believe that?
They thought it was funny.
They thought it was funny. It's so unfunny now.
Oh yeah.
It's so offensive now. I'm saying that could happen.
We're gonna have to private those 40 episodes of GMM where we had the runner of abusing Furbies, trying to kill them.
Have you seen Companion yet? I told you to see it. You should see it.
I made the mistake of watching that Chasm movie instead.
The Gorge?
Yeah. I only watched half of it.
One half of The Gorge? You didn't see the other half?
I
didn't see what happened when they got to the other side?
No, when they went down in it.
Okay, well, yeah, you made a mistake. You should have watched Companion.
Is that what it deals with?
Furbies? Not directly, but
okay,
not directly.
Is it a person? Is it a humanoid, or is it?
I don't want to spoil it. Baby girl does not want to spoil this for you.
Okay,
and
all right.
Because when I went in, I didn't know anything about it, and
well, I did finally finish Severance season 2, and nobody spoiled that for me. So maybe I'll look into it.
I've still got. That's the only thing I have left is the finale.
Well, you need to watch it later on today so we can talk about it.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have the time.
We got other things to do. We're not serial killers. We're just not. We're not capable of it.
Right.
I don't. What? I'm not even going to watch Dexter. Like
I've never.
Like I ain't even going to watch.
I've never been
Dexter.
into. It's interesting because I like horror movies, but I don't like serial killer movies.
I did not watch all of Silence of the Lambs. We were young when that came out.
And I've watched it many times, but it's not my favorite type of horror movie. But that one's just so well done. But I feel different after I watch those than if I watch something that's just like a supernatural thing. Because it's just like, it's one thing to be like, okay, this fictitious thing that you can kind of convince yourself is real for the course of a movie, like demonic activity or exorcism or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, like, when it's over, you're kind of like, yeah, that's probably not real. But then when you get through watching Silence of the Lambs, you're like, there's somebody out there right now that is doing this stuff.
Again and again.
Yeah, there are people. I don't know. It's not a lot. It's not a lot, but statistically speaking, you've probably met one.
Oh.
You probably have seen one in Home Depot or something.
Yeah, that would be the place.
You know, they're always.
What about
in it.
Lowe's though? You think they're more of a Home Depot type?
I'm not going to try to make a statement about that. I don't know which one of those brands has done something problematic most recently. I don't know.
Oh, or which one is going to sponsor us?
So, but serial killers love hardware stores.
Because there's tubing and vents and
They actually buy
sharp stuff.
The average serial killer buys about 10x of the things that they use to throw people off the scent.
Is that right?
Yeah. You have to buy a lot of stuff you don't need. So people, have you ever thought that? As many times I've been checking out at a big box hardware store, and I looked at the collection of items that I've got, and I'm like, this guy could think I'm going to kill somebody. I got rope,
Plastic sheeting.
cement,
Oh,
a machete.
a machete?
I mean, there's been a couple of times where I've thrown together a little package that is definitely a killer special.
How many machetes have you bought? You have like an array?
I mean, no, but I bought large blades. I bought several large blades. Sometimes I'll buy one just because.
I mean, that's serial killer right there. You're enamored with large blades.
If I see a large enough knife, there's a part of me that's like, you might need that. I bought some big knives. Yeah.
You bought me a big knife.
I bought Jenna a big
You
knife.
bought Jenna a big knife.
That's not serial killer tendency.
You gotta have a big knife.
You have a big knife.
You gotta have a big knife.
You haven't bought me a big knife.
I'm afraid for you. Yeah, you don't get the knife. Because statistically speaking, you would use it on yourself by accident.
That's why I like record collecting, because it's
You can't cut yourself
There's
on
a
a
lot
record.
it's a lot of roundness.
Right, yeah.
You know, I mean, the most dangerous thing is the needle, but it's very fragile.
Yeah.
It's a needle.
You haven't needled yourself yet. Okay, let's take one more.
Hi, Rhett and Link. This is Caitlin from Texas. I have a problem that I hope y'all can help me with. My mother has a gambling addiction, but she won't admit it. She has a friend who takes her to the World Casino up in Oklahoma almost every weekend. And the friend gives my mother money to gamble on. And so my mother's not even gambling with her own money. It's become a problem. She doesn't tell me when they're going to the casino anymore. She doesn't tell me if she wins. So how can I stage an intervention with her to admit that she has a gambling problem? All right, thanks. Love y'all. Bye.
Caitlin, getting into mama's business. Keeping secrets from you because you're all in her business.
Isn't the issue, first of all, let's just say if you have a gambling addiction, there's probably a website or number that you can, you probably already know it. You probably already know what it is.
You probably heard it.
You don't need me to tell you.
By law, it's probably
It's
posted
probably
on placards
it's
on the
probably-
places where you gamble.
It's on the slot machine, probably, somewhere, a sticker,
And do they have have you seen what they have on cigarettes? Like they have
like dirty lungs.
like pictures of like just a lung on a table now.
Yeah.
And you just turn the pack over probably. But yeah, so we're assuming that they have that for gambling as well.
Yeah.
Pictures of people down and out and broke, fiending to spend money.
Yeah, so
It can be a real problem. We just happen to be almost making jokes about it, but for a second, we're going to say this is serious.
Yeah.
And don't.
Before we make jokes about it, we're going to say that if you have a gambling problem, you should look at the number or the website and do something about it.
Yeah.
Now let's have some fun with it.
And don't listen. Yeah. Let's take it for a spin.
Okay.
Around the comedy block.
I think that if you're using somebody else's money, isn't the problem with gambling that you're using your own money? Doesn't it become a problem when it's your money? If it's somebody else's
like it's
money,
much less of a problem for you if it ain't your money.
Because
put it that way.
If she's sticking to this philosophy of when the money's gone, the money's gone. I'm just in for a good time.
Is she making money? I wonder. And is she giving that profit back to her friend?
Probably not, Link. She's probably not making money. Because that's why the casinos are nice. Because they're making money. So if you go for long enough,
Right.
this is not a great investment of
No.
your time and your money, but it might be a good bonding time.
I mean, apparently this other person either likes to gamble or likes their version of gambling is watching their friend gamble their money. Is she just like looking over her shoulder?
It sounds like the friend has a gambling addiction and
Maybe
wants
so.
a friend.
Yeah, to make her feel better about it.
Yeah, but it's also that,
And they got money to burn apparently if they're giving it away.
because you got the people who are the solo people at the slot machine, which that feels pretty sad. It feels pretty sad. And we also, I'll never forget this because one of the first ever like speaking engagements that we had professionally, like as comedians,
Yes.
was at this thing called Good Experience Live.
Gel conference.
The Gel Conference in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And everyone who got up was given a certain amount of time to do some sort of presentation.
A TED Talk, basically.
And what we chose to do, boy, we were bold back then. I don't think we would do that.
We
now.
were encouraged by the host to do this.
We wrote a song live in front of the audience. It wasn't a good song. Like it was basically
It was fun,
a song biscuit,
It was fun for them.
but we tried real hard.
We created an experience.
Yeah, not necessarily a good experience, but it was live.
Live.
But there was a woman who got up there and she had worked for the gambling industry, for the casinos.
Right.
And she had designed machines, basically she had
The
designed
science of gambling to keep someone at the slot machine.
and there was an interesting phenomenon where
And of course, she had relinquished her ways, and now she was on the other side.
she wasn't still doing it.
She
Because
was,
this would not have gone over well. She was like, this is what I currently do. Isn't that interesting?
she left the industry, and then it's kind of exposing the manipulation.
But one of the things that I'll never forget is the way these machines are designed is such that you are trying to get that person into a rhythm. You're almost trying to hypnotize them so that
Yes.
they will keep pulling that lever over and over again,
It's a flow state.
and they'll lose a little money and then they'll get a little money. And actually, a big win is not a great thing for them psychologically because the thing that they're actually addicted to is the process of getting into that state of addiction. So you can throw them off if they lose too much or if they win too much. It takes them out of the psychological hold that this machine has on them. Now,
Yeah.
you need occasionally for somebody to hit the jackpot because that still needs to be this motivating factor that's sort of under there. The idea of winning, the possibility of winning needs to be present, but actually winning doesn't need to be present in order for them to get whatever they're after.
And the way that it's presented visually is very addictive and is very commensurate to a TikTok experience. You know, you think about the slots moving up and down and like
Yeah.
your eyes moving into this rhythm, this up and down rhythm, which puts you in a sort of a trance. And there's some of that to scrolling too.
Yeah.
So it's definitely akin
It's
there.
hypnotic.
I mean, when I'm looking through records, there's a bit of that. There's like you go into this.
You better watch out.
Sometimes you're just like, and if you start to feel like you had a bad day, you just feel like maybe you just go over to the record store and buy a record and make you feel better.
There are worse vices, I think.
There are worse vices, but we gotta watch our human tendency for addiction, and it can happen. It can happen in any place.
Mm.
Any good thing can turn into a bad thing if you're using it to cope or silence something. And I don't want to be listening to that record later knowing that's why I bought it.
But back to the situation at hand.
But yeah, it ain't her money.
I don't know. I mean, you're asking us to help not orchestrate, but give you some advice about an intervention. And I think this is a tough one because
Right.
she's not using her own money. Maybe you just wait and see if that happens.
Yeah. I really think it comes down to that. You know, but I mean, what is she doing? Is she making things better or worse for her friend? And that's her call. You probably need to stay out of that. You know, it's like, I mean, there is this thing that I was giving you a hard time, Caitlin, in that, like, you're getting in your mom's business to the point where she's feeling judged by you, so she's keeping secrets from you. I mean, is that what you want? You know, I mean, you're saying is that another reason for that in the column of you should have some sort of intervention? I don't know. I think that's another factor to take into account. Like, how do you ascertain when it's a problem that as a daughter you need to do something about? And then how is it just a hobby that you don't need to be dishing out judgment for? I have no way to know where you are on that spectrum, but I think that is one spectrum that exists here. Right?
I think there are people who like to gamble, but they're very disciplined about, this is my budget for that, and I don't ever go beyond that. But then I just think there are certain personalities that they can't do that. And you kind of know. It's like there are some people who are like, I can drink.
Yeah.
2 glasses of wine at dinner. But there are some people who are like, if I start drinking, you know, I'll be drinking 3 days later, you know, having not stopped or whatever. And you know, if that's the case. It's not for us to determine that.
But it's her friend's money. As long as it's her friend's money, you got to figure out a way
It's like playing a video game at this point.
Keep communication lines open. That's what I'm saying. If you're cutting down your flow of information because of, you know, how hard you've been on her, then you're not going to find out if she starts switching over to her own money or if she's going broke and draining her bank account. It's like, how are you going to find that stuff out? By pushing harder or trying a different tactic? That's what I was trying to say in terms of the spectrum of, like, as we talked about before, we talked about it in the context of our own children. It's like, how much are you policing and how much are you maintaining a relationship so that you can influence? And it's different when it's a parent, and it's different when it's something that is documented as being potentially addictive. But that dynamic is still there. Like, you got to have the ability to assess, to get information, and also to influence. But you're not her parent or her policeman. So this is the tension. This is the tension.
We leave you with the tension.
I'd love to gamble with somebody else's money, but they wouldn't love it. Well, it would be
That's true.
I'd be so bad for them.
It'd be fun to watch. If I would like to watch that if it wasn't my money. Somebody else gave you money to gamble with, I'd pay to watch that.
But the slot machine, there's nothing involved instead of pulling a handle.
I don't want to see you do that. I want to see
you want to see me do something that involves decisions.
You have to make decisions.
Yeah.
We need you making decisions, yeah.
But when we went to the poker night, I outlasted you.
Oh, you did. You made it to the final table.
I made it to the final table.
You did.
In spite of myself. So, I don't know. It's just a little something for you to think about.
Yep.
Maybe next time we do the poker night, you need to be standing over my shoulder watching.
Well, I was once you were at the final table.
I wasn't there long.
You weren't there for long, but you were there. Well, thank you for joining us. We will do this again.
It's been beautiful.
Hey, Rhett and Link. My name is Brian. I'm calling from Worcester County, Mass. Just wanted to call and let you guys know how great you are. I've been watching you two for well over a decade at this point. You guys have brought so much joy and inspiration to so many, myself included. And I just wanted to wish you two the best and keep it up. Love you guys.